Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is declining the offer by the UFC to fight Shavkat Rakhmonov. The UFC wants to fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson for either UFC 279, 280, 281, whichever card, one of the pay-per-views. This is the fight they were looking at to be made on one of those cards. But Stephen Wonderboy Thompson goes out there in an interview on bjpen.com, the website, and he flat out said, I am not interested in this fight. Now, if you look at the UFC welterweight division rankings right now, Stephen Thompson is at number 7, just lost to number 5 and number 4. It's only fair that if you're losing a number 5, number 4, you're not going to go back up to number 5. You're not going to rematch Jeff Neal, who you've already fought. You're not going to fight Sean Brady. You could fight Jorge Masvidal, but I doubt that one's going to happen. You've already fought Vicente Luque. Number 11 is Shavkat Rakhmonov. So I think that would have been a perfect fight. But Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is afraid of Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'm going to say it right now. He does not want the fight because he knows that Shavkat Rakhmonov will both beat him on the feet in terms of striking because he has more power than Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and he will beat him on the ground with wrestling and jiu-jitsu. This is, in my opinion, unwinnable fight unless Thompson can land something crazy with a spinning kick or something like that. But Stephen does not want the smoke. He said it himself. He is uninterested. He just really does not want to fight another wrestler. And he will not be fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov. And like the comments on my Instagram over there, Bert_MMA, go follow. Wonderboy is smart. Shavkat is a beast. I agree. Wonderboy is squatted on his spot for so long. I also agree with that one. Because if he is going down in the rankings, it's only by like 1 or 2 spots. He only went a few spots down to fight Belal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns. So I do agree. I think these guys should fight. I think Stephen should put on a pair of balls and get ready for this fight. You can't just stay in the top 10 forever. You gotta prove that you are top 10 material by fighting a guy outside of the top 10 that everyone thinks you will lose against. Well, put your thoughts down below about Stephen Wonderboy Thompson ducking Shavkat Rakhmonov. Leon Rocky Edwards provides an ideal timeline for his first title defense, most likely probably going to be against Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. Now, he targets early 2023 London defense. 100% it'll be next year. Obviously, I have a few injuries I need to sort out. Yes, early next year, Edwards said. I don't want to be off too long. Early next year will be good, like March or April. They, the UFC, normally come to London in March or April, right? So yeah, around that time will be good to go. What do y'all think about that one? The stadium area, let's go big. Big stadium, that's what Dana said. Let's get it done, Edwards. To the MMA community now in the UK, it is booming. And now we have a UFC champion from the UK. We got Paddy Pimblett, we got Darren Till. Put them all on the card in Wembley. Let's sell it out in a main event for a pay-per-view. I mean, this is a good strategy. This is a good idea from Leon Edwards and Dana White. The main event of Wembley UFC pay-per-view, maybe UFC 285 or something like that in March. It'll be a good fight. What do y'all think about Edwards saying he's going to wait from August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 7 months for his first title defense? What do you think about the long layoff? Do you think he should fight earlier? Or do you think that's a good strategy to get the bag, get some money in Wembley, and have an amazing performance in your home country? What do y'all think about that in the welterweight division? Rafael dos Anjos calls out Jorge Game Bread Masvidal. We see right here in his tweets, I had my last title run and now it's time to fight people. That motivates me to wake up and train. I have almost 8 hours of octagon time. Get me a veteran for a change. I would love to fight guys like Jim Miller, George Masvidal, or get a rematch with Tony Ferguson or Clay Guida. Now, all of these fights are very, very good fights. RDA versus Jorge Masvidal, I don't know if that fight would actually happen, but it would be a good fight for Jorge Masvidal to get him back in the win column. Jim Miller, that would be a good fight for Jim to get inside that top 15 of the lightweight division. I think Jim Miller should accept that fight. And then, of course, Tony Ferguson and Clay Guida. But what do y'all think about Rafael dos Anjos no longer interested in the UFC's lightweight belt? Now, only looking to fight those veterans of the UFC. Put your thoughts down below for this lightweight Legends RDA. We got some new fight announcements in the heavyweight division, light heavyweight division, lightweight division, women's strawweight division, welterweight division, there might be one more, and the flyweight division. We got a lot of fight announcements to go through. If you want to get the early news on these fight announcements, go follow Bert_MMA on Instagram. The first one is Alexei Oleinik and Ilir Latifi is going to be fighting on October 1st on that UFC Fight Night, as well as Maxime Grisham and Felipe Lins. My early prediction is going to be Ilir Latifi by a decision, as well as Maxime Grisham to get that decision. Those are a few fights. We do also have a cancellation right here. So Jorge Eubanks is out of her fight with Marina Moroz on September 17th, and they're looking for a new opponent for Marina Moroz. We also have Francisco Figueiredo getting cut from the UFC roster. We got Angela Hill, Emily Ducote set for December 3rd via the MMA Junkie and UFC News Alerts. I think that's a very close fight. Very good fight. They're going to put on a good striking show in that one. And we also have Muslim Salikov and Andre Fialho set for November 19th via Andre Fialho on his Instagram. So those are some very solid fights. Some fights that I did not announce on my Instagram were Zolga Zhumagula versus Charles Johnson. That fight is going to be happening on the November 19th fight card. We got Clay Guida going to be fighting against Scott Holtzman, and that one's going to take place on December 3rd. I think that's a UFC Fight Night, but I could be mistaken. And then I think that would be it for all of the fight announcements. If you didn't know this one as well, William Gomes versus Jarno Aarons got announced a little while ago for the UFC France card next week as well. So these are some new UFC fight announcements and just crazy announcements, as in like cancellations and things like that, and people actually being cut from the UFC. But what do y'all think about today's MMA news, or the new fights, the new cancellations, and the new roster cuts inside of the UFC? Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov says he will not be signing Luke Rockholds to the UFC for obvious reasons. Come on, guys. We all know the reasons. They are friends. That is true. You might be thinking, if they're friends, why doesn't Khabib just get him over to Eagle FC and give him some easy wins? The reason being, Luke's done. Luke is done right here. He was Strikeforce champion. He was the UFC champion. He has nothing to prove. I believe he does not have to fight anymore. I would agree. I mean, Khabib is 100% right. What does Luke Rockhold have to prove now in his UFC career? He was champions in two huge MMA organizations, and then he went out there on his retirement fight inside the UFC against Paulo Costa and put on one of the best fights of the month. It was an absolute banger. There's nothing Rockhold needs to prove. I agree with Khabib. What do y'all think in the middleweight division? But yeah, that is about it for today's MMA news. We got Khabib just not signing Luke Rockhold because he's already proven that he's a great UFC fighter. We got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson rejecting Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. I would do the same, but come on. Come on, man! You gotta defend that. You gotta defend that number 7 ranking, my guy. And we also have Leon Edwards providing an ideal timeline for first title defense. Says he would like to fight in either March or April in Wembley Stadium inside of the UK. And then the other things that we talked about for MMA news were all of the fight announcements. I mean, we had a lot of fight announcements. We had Alexei Oleinik, Ilir Latifi, Maxime Grisham versus Felipe Lins. We had the cancellation of Jorge Eubanks versus Marina Moroz. Francisco Figueiredo getting cut from the UFC. Angela Hill taking on Emily Ducote. Muslim Salikov, and Andre Filio. And then, of course, if we head over to Marcel Dorf, the guy we get a lot of these fight announcements from, we also have Clay Guida and Scott Holtzman, as well as Jorge Jumagulov, Charles Johnson, and William Gomez and Jarno Edins. What do you think about today's MMA news? Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. But wait, that is not it for today's MMA news. Also, if you want all of my bets for UFC, Bellator, PFL, whatever the case may be, any MMA organization out there that I am going to be betting, check the top link down below in the description. It's going to be below the timestamps, and that'll be where all of my MMA bets are going to be for only 10 pennies every single day. That is it. You get all of my bets. So make sure to click that down below, like, subscribe. See you in the next one.